All right, folks, what is going on? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. This is episode 280 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and over here we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I mean, my weekend was pretty good. It wasn't too bad. I did have to work on Saturday, but my Sunday was pretty relaxing. Spent some time with the family. I tried to watch a little bit of the Pro Bowl, and man, I'm gonna talk about the Pro Bowl real quick before I get into this. If you're watching on YouTube, if you see what's on the screen, is basically a chart of the cap space that the Falcons have. We're gonna talk about the cap space and who should we trade, man, that Pro Bowl was just, man, it was something else. All right, if this is your first time here, welcome. Like I said, this is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. We talk about Atlanta Falcons or Georgia Southern football. Those are interchangeable for the most part. Not much Georgia Southern football to talk about today. Want to talk about some Atlanta Falcons stuff. And it's going to be pretty interesting. I think this episode is going to be pretty interesting when it comes to what money can go where based on overthecap.com. I really want to talk about this team and what the possibilities that they're going to be doing, who can they move around, or who they can trade. So that's going to be pretty cool. If this, like I said, is your first time here on the YouTube side, hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, if you're on the podcast side, apparently the podcast situation has been fixed. I mean, I think all the episodes have updated. That is awesome. And if you're on the podcast side, go ahead and hit those 5 stars. Give me a 5-star rating. Subscribe to the podcast as well, because, you know, the more people that subscribe, the more eyes that will get on this podcast, and that helps out everyone tremendously because it helps me keep going and it helps you guys continue to have more content to listen to. Also, if you want to continue the discussion, you can hit me up on Twitter at VFBaller, or you can join the Discord. The link will be down in the description. I'll try to put it down in the link of the podcast side of things because those links aren't very user friendly sometimes. But definitely, if you're on the YouTube side, you will see the Discord. That's where we continuously talk about these topics and other topics around your favorite hobby. All right, enough of me talking about all that. Let's get into this. The Falcons have already been in a lot of turmoil when it comes to cap space. I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, it's been a pretty big deal for a while now. I mean, probably for some years. But with that being said, looking at where we are now, look like we're starting to do pretty well with the cap space. I mean, right now we are $6 million over, which is not as bad as it sounds. According to overthecap.com, this is where you will see this information I have on the screen. If you're listening to this or watching this on the YouTube side of things, 6 million over. Like I said, it's not too bad. I think last year it was even worse. It got to the point where we had to find a way to trade Julio Jones, which was for us to sign our draft picks. We were able to do so, and that was great. This time around, I don't think we're in that bad of a tight space. 6 million over, yes. I mean, we still can't sign draft picks, but it's not, I don't think it's as steep as it was last year. I mean, you can quote me on that, or find out. I think it's on this website as well. I don't want to go too far back on the screen to confuse people, but I think that we weren't as bad as we were last year. Nevertheless, 6.6 million over does sound crazy, but at the end of the day, it's not really that bad when you're looking at the players that we have and who can we trade or who can we move, whatever the case may be. Now, if you're looking at the screen right here, obviously you're going to see the first person on the screen, Matt Ryan. He has $40 million in dead money. I don't see that happening as far as trading him. But what I do see, I see something really, really interesting when it comes to Calvin Ridley. A lot of people was talking about what's going to happen with Calvin Ridley with the whole situation that happened this past season with him stepping off after playing 5 games. What's going to happen with that? Well, first and foremost, like the title says, trade really is likely. I don't see a reason why not to at this point, to be honest with you. I think I did a episode a while back when I said that the Falcons should go ahead and let Ridley go. But when I look at the numbers, I mean, you can see it right here on the screen. I have my cursor here. Calvin Ridley is owed $11 million next year. And if you look here with the sign right here, if you cut him before June 1st, you will have a situation where you owe him $11 million. So that'll be dead money. So, but if it's post, it still be 11 million. So the thing is, you do not want to cut him. But when you look at the trade, dead money's gone. He won't be dead money. And we will be in the clear of $11 million in cap savings. So this is why I say it's probably likely that they'll go ahead and trade him. I know there's some destination that he said that he may want to go already, which is cool. I'm not really, I'm not really worried about this at this point. I just think that the Falcons, it just makes sense to get him, to move him, because for another $11 million, he may not even want to play for you guys. With that being said, he may not even play next year. So that's $11 million sitting there. It's a lot of money that happened last year when he just sat there. I mean, there was, think about it. There was 12 games he didn't play. So, I mean, equivalent, if he was making $11 million last year, he was basically getting paid $1 million to sit at home. I mean, because I'm not sure how it played out. Did he get any game checks or whatever the case may be? How much of his contract, what it was? I don't know the ins and outs of his contract. But if he was getting paid the same, that's basically what he was getting. So even if you do it post June 1st, you will see it right here, post June 1st, you still don't have to worry about any dead money, and you still in the clear of $11 million. So I think this is going to be likely. This is a situation where Calvin Ridley, they're just going to probably move on from him, which I'm not a big I don't have a problem with, and whatever the case may be. But I just feel at the end of the day, this is something that that needs to be done. Now, when I look at Grady Jarrett, you can see him right here at the top. We can go and look at that. I mean, even if you cut him, you have $7 million in dead money, but you have cap savings of $16 million, 500. Now that sounds good because you're still in the clear at $9 million or something like that. But you don't want to be running around with dead money. We're already dealing with that with Julio Jones. Julio Jones is dead money of $15 million. I mean, unfortunately, that's the only dead money that we have based on over the salary, over the cap.com. So with that being said, that sounds good, but I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, you just don't want to have the dead money right there. So, if you cut them prior to that, or if you cut them post June 1st, it's still the same, 7.33. You're gonna have to pay him, and we will still be, have pretty decent cap savings of $9 million. If we trade him, same thing, 7.33. Trade him pre June 1st. Trade him post June 1st. So everything is the same. He's locked in to that structured of his salary regardless. So I don't think it's likely that we would trade Grady Jarrett. This is one of the things I was saying as far as with Calvin Ridley, prior to him, I mean, like I said, that if you cut him, you just know it's going to be $11 million dead money. But if you trade him pre or post June 1st, you don't have any dead money on him, and plus you save $11 million. So with that being said, you're gonna be in the a clear of 11, 6. Man, I can't do math. I'm lost. $5 million. You have probably $5 million in team's cap space. So you're probably gonna try to find somewhere else to get some money back to have enough cap space, not only to sign your rookies and have some cap space in general for free agents or whatever, because you want to have some money. You basically want to be in the green when it comes to team cap space. So we're going to look at some other players on the screen and see what we have. A lot of guys are like in the middle of the road. There's one other person that's on here that I kind of recommend probably moving or whatever the case may be. And I think that person is right here, James Waters. Don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with him, whatever the case may be. But if you look up here, let's say if we trade him June 1st, or even if we cut him, I want to look at what it says, because I want to get everything in order as far as my information. Even if you cut him, you're going to have $0 in cap space. If you get rid of Ricky Leonard, $0 in cap space. Parker Hess, $0 in cap space. So these are three guys I can think about. There's a lot of guys on here that you can cut pre-June 1st, don't have any dead money and have cap space. So they will be able to do something. Now, when it comes to James Waters, and I'm going to talk about the other guys too, but I had an eye on James Waters because he almost is owed $1 million. And that'll be $1 million in cap space, pretty much 9.65 thousand or $965,000 if you cut him. Same thing with Rick Leonard, $700,000 in cap space. Parker Hess, 8.25. Now, I'm not a advocate of anybody losing their job. I don't want anybody to think that. But when you're looking at team cap space and they're trying to get under the cap, these are some things you may need to look at. Now, when you look at all of these other ones, any one of these, I'll put up. If you look at it at the cut part pre-June 1st, anything with a zero right here on the dead face side and the cap savings on the other side, this is what you want to look for. And I don't know the asset that they bring to the table for some of these guys, because I've never seen some of these guys. Honestly, don't know much about them as far as playing. Obviously, I know about Caleb Huntley, Will Beavers. I know about him, but then again, I don't know anything about John Rain. I don't know anything about Luther Kirk. So I don't know what the Falcons are going to do if they do decide to keep them. But I feel like a lot of these guys will probably end up getting moved. Now, another one that would be, and this is a shocker because I just saw this just now and I looked at it. This would not be a bad move for the Falcons, and I can see why. This Kendall Sheffield situation. Let's see if I can get on the screen. I want to get on the screen for you guys. This Kendall Sheffield situation. This is not a bad look. If they cut him, they're only going to be dead money for $100,000. Now, I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself because I did say I don't want anything to be doing with dead money. But look how much they save if they cut him, $2.5 million. I mean, that's too much a big of a gap that even had to be. I wouldn't even be dead money, honestly, because you basically be walking away with $2.4 million or $2.3 million in cap money. It won't be dead money. So this Kendall Sheffield, just look into this. This Kendall Sheffield thing is, now let's look into if they cut him post June 1st. All right, where are we at now? If they cut him post June 1st, where's his name? His name just ran off the map up for me. So there it is. It'll be the same thing. 189. Now let's see what happened if they try to trade him. So his salary's locked in no matter what. From based on this, the numbers are still the same. If they trade him pre or post June 1st, the numbers are locked in. So watch that one. That may be a reality because that's a lot of money that they can save in cap if they get rid of Kendall Sheffield. That's actually not to be honest with you, that's actually not a bad look if you want to get rid of someone or, you drop their salary. And I mean, like I said, I'm not the type of person that want anybody to lose their job. But when you're strapped for cash, some people are just going to be, all fall by the wayside. I mean, that's just how it is. Another one that's interesting is this Mike Davis one. I think Mike Davis is going to still be on the team, to be honest with you. Even though if they do, let's look at this. They cut him. I think his salary is locked in no matter what. There's no movement on there. So, if they cut him, it'd be $750,000 in dead money, but they'll have $2.5 million in cap savings. That's if they cut him. I don't think, to be honest with you, I'm not sure that they'll find a trade partner for him. So I doubt it because I don't want to see him go because I really want to see if he could redeem himself from last year. But you're looking at this and this could be a situation where him or Kendall Sheffield might be the ones that, they might be the ones that may surprise you to say, hey, we might get rid of them. You know what I mean? That's just I hate it to be that way, but you looking at the numbers, it just makes sense. And also, this is all based on overthecap.com. I don't know if this is official or not, but a lot of people refer to this, so I'm going to refer to it as well. Dante Fowler Jr. is another one. He does not have a base salary. He just have a prorated bonus of 4.66 million. So, he's locked in, and I think he's going to be here. I don't think that's just dead money if they let him go. Kudos to his agent, whoever put that together. I don't even know if he's going to still be on the contract next year. I mean, because that's a really weird, weird situation. I'm going to have to look into that to figure out how that plays out, because that's different. So, like, when you're looking at trading people and you're looking at what it is, like I said, all these guys that have, or cutting people, when you look at all these guys who have zeros on the dead space side and money on the saving side, those are the ones that's probably going to be, cut. And if the dead money is significantly less than the cap space, the cap savings, they're the ones that are probably going to be cut too. So when you look at like all the ones I talked about earlier, the James Varders, the Ricky Leonard, the Parker Hess, the Caleb Huntleys, the Chad Hansons, the Dorthan Etheridge, which, I don't want to see them let him go. I actually like Etheridge a lot. I hope they actually re-sign him. But when you look at those players that are like that, then you turn right back around and you look at a guy like a Kendall Sheffield. His salary, and if you're looking at this on YouTube, I'm going to highlight this. His dead cap versus money cap savings is just way too high. They're just too significantly too far apart. 189,000 in dead money compared to saving the 2.5 million. I don't know. My thing is, I don't know what they're going to do with that, but if they cut him pre-June 1st, or post June 1st, they're going to be in a pretty good shape. And Kendall Sheffield's been injured, and I don't know what his status is now, but the production of him just, to me, in my opinion, just wasn't enough to make something happen for him to stay around. I actually like Kendall Sheffield, but when you look at these numbers and you look at the cap money, I don't see how could you not. Also, like I was looking at Mike Davis, I talked about that one as well. He's another one, $750,000 if you drop him for dead money, but you will get $2.5 million in cap savings. Like I said, I want Mike Davis to be around. I do. I'm not going to say. I want him around. I really want to see him try to bounce back and do something with his with the upcoming season. But when you look at this, I could see where it's viable. It'd be viable, to be honest with you, to actually go ahead and let him go, because the cap is just too big. I'm trying to see if I find anybody else that may be a situation where you can do this as well, or anybody else I overlooked. You look at this, the player here, Braden Lennis. I don't know too much about him, but it's $7,500 in dead money if you let him go. $700,000 in cap space if you do let him go. And everybody else at the bottom here is a bunch of zeros in dead money, and a lot of these guys are getting paid $700,000, 8.25. A lot of these guys got a pretty decent base salary, so their cap number is pretty decent. If you let them go, you can get some pretty good cap savings. So all the while, I can't think of anybody else that I see, but at the end of the day, the Ridley situation looks like it's going to be I'll be highly surprised if he's still on the team by the end of by the beginning of the season, because there's no penalty of getting rid of him pre or post June 1st. If anything, I would think the Falcons try to trade him to get some draft picks for this upcoming draft. I think that would be very ideal. And if you trade him, you could drop a couple of these other guys and get some cap space. I think they'll be in good space. The Falcons have a pretty good chance to be anywhere between $15 and $20 million in cap space by the time this is over. But it just depends on what they're going to do and how they do it. That's just it, and that's also based on the scenario what I just came up with, what I said that what we probably can do. The Kendall Sheffield situation, the Calvin Ridley situation. You also have the Mike Davis situation. With those guys' salaries and the way it's structured, I can see where some guys are probably just, they're going to take a hit on dead money, but it's going to outweigh that's not going to outweigh the cap space. The cap space is just going to be, much in a better situation. Like if you have to give up 189,000 to get, $2.2 million in cap space, that's a pretty big deal. If you can free up $11 million in your cap space off of your wide receiver that doesn't want to play with you, that works out very well. A couple of these other guys that's not here that you can move right now that can possibly be other new draft picks. that works. I mean, before I close, because I'm getting to the $20 million, $20 million. Man, I wish I was getting to the $20 million mark. Getting to the 20-minute mark of this show. Just think about it. You look at some of these, rookie contracts. These rookie contracts. Look at Frank Darby's contract. His contract, it was $8.25,000. Ogundeji, $8.25,000. I mean, that's their base salary. So when they get their base of Drew Dalman, Taquan Graham, Darren Hall, Jalen Hawkins, he's not a rookie. What am I talking about? Sorry about it. Jalen Mayfield, 8.96. Who else? The more we move up, they're going to make more. Like, obviously, like Richie Grant, another one at $1.03 million. Then you look at, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, his actual base salary, which is this is a pretty good deal for the Falcons, to be honest. I'm actually surprised. It's $8.25,000 is the base salary, but his prorated bonus is $5 million. So he's getting money, he's getting this money another way, which is actually, pretty cool. Regular pay. Okay, so I see what he has but he was number 4th overall pick. So his contract is going to be a little bit different from others. It's going to be a little bit different. So with that being said, his is not going to be like the rest. But when you look at these other rookie contracts, they're basically the same as these guys down here on this, where the Nick Thurmans, Rich Nuzal, Quentin Bell, the John Raines, Luther Kerr. So the guys that are at the bottom that I was talking about, they could probably move and trade them move them for draft picks, is pretty much the same. So it's probably like moving guys out salary wise to plug them in to make the same type of salary for the upcoming season. So if this makes sense to you, you do if it makes sense to you, then you understand where I'm coming from. If not, maybe you want to look at this chart. If you're on the podcast side, you may want to look at the chart on YouTube. It's first in frame rates. Just type that in. I'll pop right on up. You look at this chart, or, you'll find out how this makes sense for moving guys, for the rookies that are going to come in, because I think the Falcons have like 8 picks or something like that this season, possibly 9, depends on the Calvin Ridley situation. So, like I said, Calvin Ridley is the cornerstone of all of this. He's probably going to be getting traded, and with them being $6 million over, I mean, you got these guys that are here, like I said, that are that you can move their contracts, or you can drop their contracts and not lose anything as far as dead money. Because like I said, a lot of people, and there's a lot of people in Atlanta Falcons, that do content. They're saying that there's a lot of money that the Falcons are still paying Desmond Trufant, this much that, but based on overthecap.com, the only dead money we have right now is Julio Jones. And I don't know how long that's going to be. Did that clear up by next year, whatever the case may be? How does that clear up after the fact? And that's going to be really significant going forward, because then we'll know what kind of money we'll be dealing with. Who can we sign down the road post 2022? So I think if this is I think this is an indication that we'll know that most people can know what we're dealing with now, because this whole situation is really cool to know about what's going on with the whole cap situation, the trading, and who could be moved, because there's a lot of rumblings out there with Ridley, and definitely this started with Jarrett as well. So I wanted to talk about that. So hopefully you guys really understood this. I think I got an understanding of it. I honestly feel like I learned something just by looking at this, because I didn't know how most of the stuff play out. But based on overthecap.com, shout out to overthecap.com. If you really want to look at this, I'll have the link down in the description. So if you want to look at this yourself, or also because this has stuff for other teams as well. You can find out what this all means on your end as well, so you can get a different understanding of other players that we may not have talked about here. So that's always cool. That's pretty much going to close out this episode. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this. I think this was pretty informative, because I walked away doing this episode, just sitting here reading this and talking to you guys. I learned something today about what can be done as far as money being moved or the case may be. I think this was really informative. Hopefully you guys learned something as well. So we kind of got an idea who's going to be going, who can be going where, what money could be moved, couple of surprises that could happen as far as the Kendall Sheffields and maybe even Mike Davis. It's just too much money there. But we'll talk about this at another time, maybe when things do actually start moving and shaking, because I think we have a whole month. March 16th is the beginning of free agency and trades. So we have a whole month of this, but I wanted to get this down on the record and get you a little pre-understanding of what's going on. Once again, shout out to overthecap.com. I'll put the link in the description. If you like this video, hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're on the podcast side, give me a good rating over there and let people know what I'm doing. Give me a good review, and we'll be talking some more Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons stuff down the road. Definitely we'll be back tomorrow with another episode. That'll be episode 281. Thank you guys once again for all the support. I really appreciate it. Until next time, you guys take it easy. You guys be blessed. Have a great Monday. Peace.